Hello, welcome to what I'm going to be calling PlanetZoo with a Zookeeper. I think I am going by Body of Water, something like that. So I actually started this franchise mode a couple days ago, trying to figure out how to get going. I haven't played a whole ton of the game before. I've played a little bit here and there, haven't gotten a ton done. So I promise I haven't gotten too far ahead. I think this will be interesting to see. I don't know too much about the game. I know just enough, I think, to get going and not be boring, but not enough that, I would be the most interesting, most thought-provoking PlanetZoo person out there on the internet. Like I'd said before, I am a current zookeeper. A little background about me is I've been working in the zoo field for a total of just under 2 years, all combined. Full-time keeping, I'm coming up on a full year. I've worked mostly with African hoofstock. I've worked with some other animals before. Working with smaller Asian mammals is what my first full-time position was, but most of my positions in the past have been with African hoofstock or other small African mammals. So that's kind of one of the big things I want to get going on this zoo, is try to get a good savanna exhibit going. It's what I work with every day, so it's something I enjoy and something I really would enjoy building in this, because I haven't really done it before yet. I started with what are these guys? Amazon giant centipede and Goliath bird eater. So I got a male and female of both. I'm gonna hopefully breed them up and be able to sell the offspring of these two. Hopefully for both sets, to make it a little bit extra money so that I can get my first exhibit going. I would like to try to make this is the general layout of what the zoo will look like. I would like to make this kind of a what am I trying to say, sectioned by area. I want to try to keep these smaller exhibit animals kind of towards the front of the zoo, keep them out of the way. I'm not a huge fan of the way the game kind of has made them be, just kind of how it's gone. I'm trying to make money. It's one of those things. It's not the easiest thing to do, but once you get making money is how you get going. Once you make the money, you're pretty much set. It's pretty hard to really lose the money once you get the money going, from what I've seen. I'm kind of just waiting to see if they'll give birth anytime soon. Oh, look at that. We already have a third. Oh, wow. Oh, gosh. We have a whole bunch of these guys. I gotta remember if I can figure out how to sell them. Don't quite remember. There we go. Animals. God, who's the mom? Probably the one that's 3.5 years old. So quickly, gonna sell these guys. Easy, $500. Hopefully the Goliath will also breed soon. If I haven't mentioned, the savanna species that I would like to get are the ones I work with. So I'd like to get Adix, Oryx, I believe they have in the game. If they have Dharma Gazelle, I'd like to get Dharma Gazelle. If there's Adra, if there's Kudu, I'd like to get Kudu. Zebra, giraffe. Are these rare? These kind of look, those look insane. Those must be the color morphs people keep talking about online that I haven't really seen. That's another thing I want to do. I want to do Asian small-clawed otter with the Largibbon or the Siamese. Another thing I've kind of seen online is that these guys are one of the quickest way to make money is also using fennec foxes. We have fennec foxes on my team that I work on, and they do have a very short gestation period, so that's kind of realistic. I don't know if they're in the game. I'm pretty sure they are. Fennec foxes, if people don't know, are they only have a gestation period of about 60 days. once that 60 days is up, I mean, they can pretty much breed as soon as the female is cycling again. They don't typically breed for more than one set of kits a year, but in the game it's a little different. It's not quite the same. It's a game. But I think fennec foxes are the thing I would like to do next. I don't really know. Like how you're supposed to do that or whatever. Like I don't know the sizes of exhibits and habitats you're supposed to make for the animals. I think I'm gonna go with the younger male here first. Okay, I'm gonna put him in the animal trade. Put him in quarantine. And then I'm gonna figure out what to do. I think I'm gonna make Africa kind of over in this section. People seem to care about Africa more, in my opinion, from what I've seen in my own life. I'm gonna say too that I'm not gonna make this super pretty. I'm not great at that kind of stuff. I think in the grand scheme of things, I know what I'm doing. Just seeing it every day, but it's not it's definitely not the prettiest for sure. I'm trying to think, what do we do for our fennec foxes? One with glass right away. Whoa. How did I get here? Is it glass or is it like expensive glass? I don't like what's the difference. Sometimes I'm curious. How do I have to figure out how to change the height again? That was really annoying. We're just gonna go from here. Try our best and make this as pretty as possible. If I haven't mentioned, I'm playing on console, so it's also going to be a little more difficult, I think, to get the right angles and all that hoopla. I'm going to switch to. I'll get back. I'm going to switch to. This hedge. No, brick. We're doing brick. Nope. There we go. Got one brick. Definitely, I keep this a little bit small. Fennec foxes are not very big. If you're unaware of fennec foxes, I don't want to make this super big. Yes, in the game too, if you make things too big, the animals get overwhelmed maybe by the space or something like that. Like I said, fennec foxes are not huge animals, so they're not going to need like like 600 yards, 700 yards of anything crazy. They're going to need typical. I don't know. I think our probably is I don't know. It's not that super long. So that's gonna look ugly. I don't really like that. But it's the same. It's so weird because it's like the same distance, but it's not. Maybe I can connect that up with glass. I'll have to connect that up with glass. I really don't want to do this like that. The other thing is, I'm not super great at the whole like, we're gonna curve this and do this and make this. I'm getting better at the game for sure, but certain things are pretty difficult. I still have trouble with like that. I don't care. We're gonna do that. It's not that big of a deal, I don't think. One of the things that bothers me, I think, with the game too, is that certain animals are not going to have like what we call just a habitat gate. They're going to have what we call like a shift door, a place for the animals to go inside at night because they are dangerous, or the animal is not necessarily needing to be out all the time, or even if it's winter time, they don't need to be out all the time. It's just kind of how it goes. From what I understand, at least for the fennec foxes we have, most of their terrain is going to be made of sand. Um, we have sand, we have rocks. I'm gonna make most of it sand now, so I don't have to do it later. Um, they have sand, they have rocks, they have mulch. We kind of use different substrates throughout their exhibit. Get their feet different textures. Make sure that like nails or claws, things like that, can naturally chip away. Um, we have some high areas of sand. We have some low areas of sand. It's actually really annoying. Since they get a lot of sand, they build tunnels. If you guys are not familiar with foxes in general tend to tunnel, and we have to break those tunnels down because they are very good at tunneling. And they have kits, and the kits will have the tunnels clogged on themselves if you don't fix that. I wish there was a way, and there probably is, I'm just not screwing away with the game yet, is not filling it outside the walls. Like I don't want sand up there or sand up there. Or I don't want, like grass and grass in there. It's fine. It's just not necessarily like what I would want to have. Alright, let's move this guy in here. Actually, let's do this first. Let's do turning. Push down some area over here. Let's go ahead and push down right here. Alright, with water. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go turn in. Let's go there. So that looks.
Okay, it's been about 4 days. I think I figured out what the problem is for why I can't get the fennec fox in the habitat. I think the problem is I need to have a keeper hut, maybe? So I think that might be the problem as to why I can't get the fennec fox into... Boom. That was it. I needed a keeper hut. So one of the things that I wanted to add to the habitat is plants and such. The fennec foxes I work with do not have a ton of plants. They got some grasses growing in a very small area of dirt, but being a more deserted animal, they don't have a ton of plants. So I'm looking for specifically maybe some desertish stuff. And then I might even do another filter for continent, see if I can do African specific desert stuff. They do have a ton of like rocks and stuff like that. Like we give them rocks, they climb on stuff. They have tons of things to like bounce around and have natural behaviors on. So we do kind of like raised areas, and then it's kind of surrounded by rocks. So we'll probably keep at least probably most of it surrounded, but not all of it. I want to make sure that the whole thing isn't surrounded. There we go. There's our little guy. Look at him, he's so small. Look at that, he goes right to the terrain I just added, and that's hilarious. All right, so I had the perfect stuff already for them. I'm a genius. That's what happens when you work with them, I guess. They're not super big fans of plants coverage because they're desert animals. I kind of would like to add just a little bit just because I don't know if it'll affect it, but ours have some grasses and stuff growing. Not a ton of stuff. It's not a big deal, I don't think. We'll see. The exhibit itself is really, really big for a fennec fox. I'm gonna go ahead and get another one because that's insane. We have a male, I think. Boom. All right, so we're gonna send to the zoo. We're not gonna send him there because we want it to quarantine. Check out, make sure that it's not gonna die. So yeah, I think I'm gonna time lapse. Probably gonna start building another exhibit maybe right here. Oh man, I would love to get a caracal. Caracals are probably my third favorite animal. But I don't understand why this one is so expensive. I don't understand. Is it because it's maybe like a harder animal to get in the game? I don't really understand how that works. We have a caracal, and I love him very much. He's awesome. I also work with ostriches. Ostriches are probably the biggest nuisance animal I work with. They're really fun. They're just not very smart, and they're kind of obnoxious to work with because of the fact that they're not the brightest, they're not the smartest. Pretty hard to work with. I've come to the conclusion, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong. The ones that seem like super expensive because of the different the leaf coin, whatever that's called, are probably people selling them because it seems like a lot of the rare animals, whether it be, this is a melanistic jaguar, um, someone probably bred for that to sell, or maybe the game knows that people would want it because it is melanistic. I'm not sure, but it seems like that's kind of the case. It also seems like the jaguar might be a harder animal to get in general, and that might be why it's more expensive. A lot of the primates, like the bonobos and other stuff, kind of seem like that might be the thing going on with it too. I've worked with Nyala. Nyala are fun, especially the males when they're kind of in that in between. They're in that shaggy period between adulthood and still baby. They're pretty fun to see. Now this is weird. In real life, okapi are pretty rare and kind of expensive, so it's kind of odd that they have okapis in the game that are cheap. There's not very many places that have them. Like off the top of my head, I can only think of Tampa and San Diego as the two that have copies. I know there's other places, but those seem to be the ones I see the most. I think what I'll do is do Nyala. Um, Nyala I had worked with in the past have lived with other species before, and so I think that it would be nice to have multiple species in an exhibit, especially like where this one's going to be is going to be kind of to the front of the zoo, so it might be nice. So in my opinion, the only time I would ever use a glass uh, keeper gate is because if the animal is like a hot animal, so something like a lion, a tiger, something like that, you want to make sure that before you enter, there isn't like a hot animal in the exhibit beforehand. What is this? What is a VIP guest? Sandy Stringer. Hello, Sandy Stringer. All right. So this is gonna be Nyala. I'm not really sure what I want to do. In terms of exhibit layout, like terrain and stuff, I think it'd be nice to have like a little stream, maybe. There we go. There we go. That looks so good in my opinion. Looks very natural in comparison to what it could be, honestly. A lot of times, zoos and other places try to hide their feeders and their drinkers from public. They don't want them to see them because they're typically seen as kind of like ugly. So I'll probably do the exact same thing. Okay, habitat. How can we make this better? Hard shelter. I hate this. I hate this. The hard shelter thing is not a thing. It's it's okay. It's not like a thing that's super necessarily important. I get it's something to help them from the elements and everything, but not every animal needs this. Like a Nyala is gonna sleep under a tree if it's gonna be raining. They're not gonna go hide under a shelter. And the other thing is the shelters are so ugly in the game. They're so ugly. And they take up so much space and they're just not good, I don't think. Okay. Well, Zoo's making more money. I'm gonna add a couple things just to keep things running smoothly, and then I'm probably gonna end it there probably soon. Um, One of the big things that seems to be making money in the game is donation boxes. you put those at like every corner, and people spend lots of money on donation boxes. It seems to be that seems to be kind of like the cheat code for the game is the donation boxes. Uh, I know signage is really important. Um, I don't really understand how these things work. The education boards. Oh, look at her now. She's playing Conservation Education Board. Um, let's put this right here. And then I'm pretty sure you can like change it, right? Yeah. Replace image. Let's go with, what should we do? Species reintroduction. That's always a fun one. People love that stuff. So then we'll, wait, it's facing the wrong way. How do I move it? I think the Nile just did something crazy in the background. Why does my zoo have crime? Okay, well, I think I'm going to end it here. I'm going to take a look at enrichment stuff off camera and make sure that they're getting back to what they need, and then I will come back and we'll continue working on building more stuff for Africa. Thank you guys for watching.